I've come your way again this morning. The other day, I talked about the development of agenda of Black African head of states. Today, we are going to continue with the same topic. The other day, I was talking about the presidents and the heads of state not having any development agenda meant for the next generation. But now, I've thought about certain things. You see, everybody needs security. Everyone who vies for the presidential position reads. So if you come to Ghana, for instance, they know that Kwame Nkrumah was the first president of Ghana, was doing very well. But when the West realized that Nkrumah was doing very well, they conspired with people from within the army, the people who were supposed to safeguard the integrity of the nation, safeguard the safety of the nation. They conspired with the West and were through Nkrumah. And the same thing went on for other West African head of states. So any head of state who comes to the position now begins to think about his safety. And they come to realize that their safety lies in the hands of the Western powers. So now they go to the demands of the Western powers. Somebody like Gaddafi, he said no, he will not go the Western way. He will go the African way. He will develop Libya with the resources. Now go and take a look at what Gaddafi did. Somebody in a primary school, there was a plan for his future. Everybody after university, you had your accommodation, you had your means of transport. So you were content and you were out to help build the nation. Now the West realized that, even as I'm doing this video, there may be plans against me, but I'll say it. I'm now old. I don't care whatever anybody plans to do. We need to think Ghana. We need to think about Africa. We need to think about developing the nation so we do not become the scum of the world. Because the Westerners, they may see you, laugh with you, and do everything, but they look down on you. They look down on you. You are, to them, you are a second-rate citizen if you go there. So the heads of state come and they begin to think about their own security. And they realize the security is in the hands of the Western nations. So we want to do what they want us to do. Have you not considered that whenever we are going the way of the West, then the IMF comes and say, the finance officer, the finance minister is the best finance minister of all the finance ministers. It means you're doing their will. You're doing their bidding. Which, because sometimes you look at some of the people who are in the position of finance ministers, you look at their position, their how do you call it, finance plans, and you look at what is happening in the country, and you realize they are not doing enough to develop the country. And yet IMF will come, World Bank will come and say he is the best finance minister because he did what they wanted to be done. So I agree, these heads of state do things that will make them feel secure. And that is not going to help anybody. So as I talked about these heads of state, I'm also talking about people in positions. The military, the police. You are the institutions that the Westerners influence to overthrow people who are doing well for the nations. So as we caution the heads of state, we also want to caution the military and the police institutions. How well are you prepared to defend the constitution of the nation? How well are you prepared to fight for the nation? But like the president, as they deploy the resources for their own benefit, you also want to benefit from it. So if the president does something which the West thinks is going to go against them, develop the nation so that the nation doesn't become a market or a dumping place for the West, then they come to you, the military officers, they come to you, the police officers, help us to overthrow this man. In fact, Ibrahim Traore has survived so many coup attempts. because there are some loyal people within the institutions. When they are approached, they go and give evidence to Traore that this is what these people want us to do. And that's how Traore has survived. So if you, the military and the police institutions, if you can swear loyalty to the nation and not to one person, I think the president will now feel secure and do what is needful for the development of the nation. So let us all, as citizens of the nation, pledge ourselves to defend the nation and not to become selfish for ourselves. We want to sing the praises of the leaders so that they will go corrupt and we will benefit from the corruption. If US today you benefit from the corruption, but think about your children, think about your grandchildren, think about the next generation. They are going to suffer for your selfish actions that made you to benefit. You own all the houses in Kumasi. So what? How many houses we don't live in a day? Just decide to go to 3 of your houses, to live in the 3 houses a day. Everybody will think you are mad. Think about changing your clothing for wear 3 suits a day or 4 different types of raiment a day. Everybody will think you are going mad. So why is this clamor for wealth and properties that is hurting the nation? You alone, you have all the properties, you have all the wealth in the nation. Others will suffer. Look, if you are living in a glass house, take care of the people around you so that they don't begin to throw stones. So this is my bit for you, the politicians, the appointees, the military and the police officers. Let us pledge loyalty to the nation and not to one person. And if we are pledging loyalty to the nation, then we are prepared to stand against any foreigner who wants to intrude into the political system and change the government that have been doing well. Burkina Faso, I doff off my heart for you. Go on like that and let the other African nations learn from Burkina Faso. Let the military officers learn from what is happening in Burkina Faso and in Niger and other places. These were poor nations. In fact, they were rated as they were rated as some of the poorest nations on the surface of the earth. Now look at how they are doing. It's because they have pledged loyalties to the nation and to the next generation. A word to the wise is enough. Thank you. God bless you.